Hello friends, it's Kristie Marcotte. In today's video, I'll be sharing the cards I made using Spellbinders March 2023 Quick and Easy Card Kit of the Month. The theme is Be Yourself. The kit is filled with beautiful colors and designs, perfect for some cheerful spring cards. If you are interested in subscribing to any of Spellbinders club kits, I do have links provided in the description box below. So let's go ahead and get started with card design number 1. I will be using some card sketches for inspiration. The first card sketch is from CARDSTOCK. This is sketch number 30. And if you are interested in any of the sketches I use in this video, I share all of that information on my coordinating blog post. That link is provided in the description box below, or you can simply head over to KristieMarcotte.com. For this first card, I selected this fun hand-drawn grid line background, layered it on some white cardstock, and this white cardstock is actually from one of the card bases that's included in the kit. I layered it on some dark green cardstock, and this is cardstock from my stash. You probably noticed I had some leaves cut out of the background, but since I covered it up with the other layers, no one has to know that there's some pieces cut out of that background. For the strip across the card, it has lots of fun sentiments, and then the panel on the left side has some beautiful yellow flowers, and I layered that piece on the same dark green cardstock. Next, I'll bring in some of the die cut images. I have some clouds, a couple of bees, and the sentiment Be Happy. And I did add foam dimension on the back of all of the die cut pieces. For a final finishing touch, I'll add a small teal flower on the left side of the larger cloud. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. For the other card, I used different pattern paper, but the same die cut pieces. For card design number 2, the card sketch is from CARDSTOCK. This is sketch number 21. I have a fun purple polka dot paper for the background, adding a narrow strip of the yellow honeycomb pattern paper. For a little bit of sparkle, I'm adding some Love from Lizi peel-offs along the edge of the honeycomb paper. This is the gold holographic color in the pinstripe style. I'll wrap the ends of the peel-offs around the back, layer this piece on some dark blue cardstock, then I'll put ATG tape on the back and add my card front onto a card base, leaving 1/8 of an inch of the white card base showing. All of my cards in this video are American Standard A2 size, 4 1/4 inches by 5 1/2 inches. The card kit does include some colored cardstock, but most of the cardstock I'm using in this video is from my stash. For the 2 narrow diagonal strips that are on the card, I'll be substituting those for a couple of die cut pieces. The one on the right looks like notebook paper, and it has the sentiment buzzing about this, a little bee and honeycomb in the lower right hand corner. And the other die cut piece has the sentiment, there are so many beautiful reasons to be happy. I adhered both of those down using some glue. Now I'll bring in a couple more of the die cut pieces. Another bee that I did pop up with some foam dimension, and the sentiment Good Life. I also added a lovely pink flower on the notebook paper on the right side. Using this same dark blue cardstock, I'll cut a small banner and adhere it in the upper left-hand corner. For a final finishing touch, I'll add a little bit of glitter to the bee's wings using a clear glitter brush. For card design number 3, the card sketch is from Freshly Made Sketches. This is number 574. I think this will be a great sketch for using up the last of the pattern paper scraps. For the background of my card, I trimmed down one of the white card bases that's included in the kit, and I added a pretty gold watercolor splatter all over that paper. Next, I selected 3 different pattern papers that all coordinate nicely. I have a teal plaid, a pink blossom tree, and some more of that hand-drawn grid design. I kept all of those strips the full 6-inch length, put adhesive on the back, and I'll adhere them onto the white panel. Then I'll flip that piece over, use my scissors, and trim off the extra. Next, I'll add some more Love from Lizi peel-offs. This is the same gold holographic color in the pinstripe style. I'm using the narrowest width and adding one along the top and bottom of those 3 strips. I'll wrap the ends of the peel-offs around the back, layer this piece on some dark green cardstock, then I'll put ATG tape on the back and add my card front onto a card base. Overall, my cards in this video are fairly simple. I was really trying to focus on the items that are included in the kit other than the solid colored cardstock. There's only one card where I did a little bit of die cutting. Next, I'll bring in some more of the image and sentiment die cut pieces. The larger sentiment is celebrate every moment, and I'm adding the word joy right underneath it. I did put foam dimension on the back of all of the die cut pieces except for this small pink flower. I'll be gluing that on the right side of the celebrate word. For a final finishing touch, I'll add this lovely teal butterfly on the left side of the card. So there is my finished card, and I did make two using this design. For card design number 4, the card sketch is from Freshly Made Sketches. This is number 545. I selected two pattern papers. A lovely yellow gingham for the background, and this really pretty pink pattern paper with lots of little bees. For the 3 small rectangles on the sketch, the top and the bottom will feature the bees. The one in the center, I'm using some white cardstock. I'll layer all of the pieces on some black cardstock. And generally for my cardstock layers, I add an additional 1/8 of an inch. So the yellow gingham pattern paper is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches, and that black cardstock layer is 4 1/8 of an inch by 5 3/8 of an inch. Before adhering the 3 small rectangles, I'll first lay them on my card. I'll try to get everything evenly spaced. Then I'll adhere the white rectangle down first, then I can add the 2 bee pattern paper rectangles. I'll put some ATG tape on the back and add my card front onto a card base, leaving 1/8 of an inch of the white card base showing. Now I'll bring in several different die cut images and sentiments. I have the 3 different jars. The taller jar has the sentiment suite. I'll glue that one down first. Then I'll add the little pink jar on the left side, tucking part of it underneath that larger jar. And the medium-sized jar, I did put some foam dimension on the back, and I'll adhere it on the right side. Next, I'll add a small pink hexagon heart to the center of the medium-sized jar. The sentiment honey will sit underneath the medium and the tall jar. I did put foam dimension just on the left side of that sentiment before adhering it down. I'll add a small little bee to the top of the medium-sized jar, and also a small banner die cut piece in the upper left-hand corner. I did trim off the very top. It had that same torn edge, and I decided to cut it straight. For a final finishing touch, I'll tie a small bow using some pink twine from my stash. I'll put a small glue dot on the back side of the bow and adhere it underneath the sentiment honey. So there is my finished card, and again I did make 2 using this design. Basically the same card other than the background paper. For card design number 5, I'm using one of my favorite card sketches. This is OWH number 218. This is a great sketch for featuring pretty pattern paper. I selected this lovely floral paper for the larger element and some more of the teal plaid pattern paper for that wider strip. For the background, I'm using more of the white cardstock from the card bases. It's hard to see in the video, but the card bases do have a linen texture finish on one side. Along the edge of the plaid paper, I'll put some Love from Lizi peel-offs. This is the teal mirror color in the pinstripe style. Wrap those ends around the back. Layer this piece first on some dark green cardstock, then again on some dark blue cardstock. Sometimes it's fun to use 2 different cardstock layers for the background. Then I can add my card front onto a card base. I layered the floral paper on the same dark green cardstock. And some people have asked me what cardstock I use for my card bases since I add all these other cardstock layers. My preference is Accent Opaque Digital 120 pound cardstock. It's nice and sturdy and holds up to all of the layers I add to my cards. And I do have a link in the description box where you can purchase that cardstock. Now I'll add a couple of the die cut images, the large beehive and a really large bee. The sentiment is "Because I love you," and this is one of the chipboard stickers. Before I attach the sentiment, I did put a scrap piece of cardstock on the very left side. And they are stickers, so they have adhesive on the back, but I always add a little bit of liquid adhesive just to make sure they stay in place. For a final finishing touch, I'll add 3 of the sequins that are included in the kit. It's this beautiful blue color, and there are 2 sizes, although I'm only using the smallest size. I'll add a small drop of Barely Art glue, pick up those sequins using an embellishment wand, and press them in place. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. The second card features another beautiful floral paper and an adorable pink bird. For card design number 6, the card sketch is from Cards TV. This is sketch number 3. I selected 2 pattern papers for the background. I have a teal wood grain paper for that top piece and another beautiful floral design for the bottom piece. I'll add both of those onto some white shimmer cardstock. Then I'll layer that piece on some dark green cardstock. Put some ATG tape on the back and add my card front onto a card base. And the cardstock layers for this card are an additional 1/4 of an inch, since I wanted a wider border. For the image box, the white cardstock is one of the card bases, and I'll be layering it on the same dark green cardstock. I'll layer those 2 pieces together, put glue on the back, and adhere that piece on the left side of the card following this sketch design. And here's the only card design where I'm using a die. I cut out 2 grass borders, one a little bit taller than the other, and I'll glue those to the bottom of the white panel to create a little scene. Now I'll bring in 2 of the die cut images. I have a lovely tree with yellow blossoms and this adorable little hedgehog. Put the tree on the left side and tuck that hedgehog in behind that first row of grass. For a sentiment, this is one of the puffy stickers. This means so much. It does have adhesive on the back, but I am adding that little bit of liquid adhesive as well. And I'll adhere it in the lower right-hand corner. For a final finishing touch, I'll add a couple more of the puffy stickers, this time 2 little hearts, and I'll put them above the hedgehog. I chose a pink and a light green heart. And I couldn't resist adding a little bit of sparkle to all of the flowers using a clear glitter brush. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. The second card has different pattern paper for the background and also a different sentiment. Happiness is here. The little hedgehog image is my favorite in the whole kit. Now here's another look at the 12 cards I made using Spellbinders March 2023 Quick and Easy Card Kit of the Month. The theme is Be Yourself. If you are interested in subscribing to any of Spellbinders club kits, I do have links provided in the description box below. New subscribers can join starting on March 6th, and the last day to subscribe, if they are still available, is March 27th. This is a monthly kit, so quantities are always limited. The only way to guarantee receiving a kit is to sign up and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.